Broggy or Dory, which one is hotter?
Broggy.
Dory. You like the big guy?
Mm-hmm.
The stout giant?
Broggy's, yeah, he's the best.
Dory is like skinny and slender and fit though. And he's got the long, sexy beard.
I don't like Dory.
What do you like about Broggy?
Just a cool guy.
All right.
Hello and welcome
To the Delusional Boyfriend Book Club, where if shipping One Piece characters is wrong.
I don't want to be right.
My name's Courtney.
And I'm Wolf.
And today we're talking about One Piece Volume 13. If you guys are listening along, every Tuesday we drop a new episode going through One Piece manga volume by manga volume. So if you're reading on the Shonen Jump app, you're going to want to read chapters 109 through 117. And if you're picking up the physical volumes, we're on Volume 13. If you haven't already, rate, review, and subscribe. And if you can, leave a little comment down below on who your delusional boyfriend from One Piece is. So just to jump right into this story, we are coming out of the first part of Baroque Works, where we're on the Cactus Island.
Whiskey Peak. Yep.
And Zoro is fighting 100 bounty hunters.
It's Zoro versus the 100 bounty hunters and some prime members of Baroque Works.
So Baroque Works is a hidden bounty hunter society, and they had asked Zoro to join them, and he had said no a long time ago. So when he and the Straw Hats come up on this island, all of the Straw Hats are basically tricked by the bounty hunters into drinking and eating and being merry, and they all pass out except for Zoro. And Zoro is actually just sitting on top of all the buildings watching everybody make a fool of themselves. And then when they all start getting attacked by the bounty hunters, Zoro is there with his swords to fight them off. And what I love about this volume is that Nami is also she's not drunk and passed out like she seems to be. She's just kind of staying out of the trouble, which she is doing all of the time. Every time there's a fight, Nami's just sneaking off into the distance to keep safe. And I love that because she knows as a navigator, if anything were to happen to her, the crew couldn't get out of there. So she doesn't really need to fight to be important to the team.
She's kind of bossing the male crew members in a good way to do what they need to be doing.
Yeah. And then she's watching from a distance, just sometimes cheering them on and sometimes thinking they're idiots. Mm-hmm. So Zoro goes through, he's fighting everybody, he's killing off most of them, and then Luffy wakes up, and basically we have these two other really important members of Baroque Works coming to get somebody who they think is a spy or a double agent out of Whiskey Peak, and
Mr. Five and his partner
are the two people who have come to collect this double agent that they think is working from inside Baroque Works to destroy everything. And we don't know yet who the leader of Baroque Works is, but they call him Mr. Zero. So the closer you get to the number 0,
it's like a mystery man at this point.
They're all supposed to be mysterious. That's the catchphrase of their organization. So the closer you get to the number 0 is the bigger up you are in the organization.
And the more powerful.
Mr. 8, the guy who's kind of leading Whiskey Peak, he is
the mayor, essentially.
In charge of everybody. And then we've got Miss Wednesday and Mr. 9, and they're partners. So when these other characters, Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine, they come in and they actually reveal Miss Wednesday to be Princess Vivi of Alabasta.
Yeah.
And Mr. 8 is her bodyguard, and he goes to protect her when these two are going to kill her. And he yells to Zoro, who's just kicked everybody's ass, and he's like, "Save Princess Vivi." Zoro has no idea what the fuck is going on. Nami shows up and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he says, "You need to get this princess. If she doesn't get back to her kingdom, the whole kingdom is going to be ruined." And Nami says,
"I mean, for 1 billion berries, I'll do it, or else your your princess will die."
I love Nami for this. She's ruthless.
No, I mean, she's great because she's in it all for the money, and so she does a quick negotiation with them, and then sends Zoro because Zoro owes her a favor. But then you get some really sweet scenes in this because Mr. 9, Vivi, I'm just gonna go with her regular name, Vivi. Mr. 9, her partner, pretty much steps up to help her. Miss Monday steps up to help her.
They all sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, they just get destroyed.
And they basically say, if we're going to die anyways, at least we're going to die for a friend. And they're supposed to be loyal to only Mr. Zero, the leader of this organization. Yeah. But in the end, it turns out that they're going to be loyal to each other, the people they've been fighting alongside. So this secret organization, the secret society, starts to implode from the inside out. And Zoro is going to get the princess. Nami Nami's going to get the princess. They're trying to get her out of there to get a billion berries for saving her. And we have Luffy waking up from his slumber because he was passed out. He'd eaten too much food. And he gets so pissed at Zoro. He's like, you killed all these people. Why would you kill all the people who fed us? And Zoro says, you're so stupid, Luffy. They were tricking us. They only fed you because they were trying to get you to pass out. And Luffy says, they would never do that. I'm going to kill you, Zoro. I'm going to kill you for doing this. So they get in a fight. Meanwhile, all these characters trying to kill Vivi are getting closer to her because Luffy starts fighting against Zoro. Yeah. And then Nami knocks them both out. And I love this because she's kind of just as strong as the rest of them. She doesn't always choose to fight. But when she decides to punch one of them in the face, they go down like a sack of bricks. So she sets Luffy straight, tells him that Zoro didn't kill anybody unnecessarily, that he was doing it because they all got tricked. They all get to Vivi, Princess Vivi, and get her to the shore. They knock everybody else out, and Vivi accidentally tells them who Mr. Zero is. She says, Baroque Works is not just a secret society trying to create a utopia of bounty hunters. They're actually a secret society that's going to bring down the kingdom of Alabasta, where I am from. And they've tricked all of these bounty hunters into thinking that they have one mission, when in reality their mission is to bring down my whole kingdom. So the guy who is running all of this, his name is Crocodile. And once she tells them their name, there's that funny little otter that you like.
It's an otter and a vulture.
An otter and a vulture. And
Miss Friday and Mr. I don't remember what the code name is for him, but it's Miss Friday is the vulture.
It's cute. So they basically sketch all of the Straw Hats pictures to send back to Crocodile to say your identity has been gotten out and now you need to be on the hunt for the Straw Hats because they know who you are and they know what you're doing to take down Alabasta. So the guy who was Vivi's bodyguard is still alive and he says, I'll take these dummies out on a ship.
He's trying to be a decoy.
And I'll make a decoy so that if anybody comes looking for the Straw Hats, they'll find my boat instead. And you guys can go in the other direction and get to Alabasta from the other route. So he gets out to sea. He says bye to Vivi. And she is kind of teary, waving goodbye to him. And as soon as he gets out to sea,
just blows up.
He's immediately killed.
She's like, yeah, he's a really good guy. And they turn around to go back to the ship and then just blow up.
And we see this lady sitting on the ship, on the Straw Hats Growing Merry ship, and nobody has seen her before. And her name's Miss All Sunday. And she is going to be Mr. Zero's partner. And we will later find out that she is going to be one of the main characters in this story. Vivi's bodyguard has been blown up in the distance. On the Going Merry is her duck named Karu, giant duck that she rides. And then this lady appears out of nowhere. And she is very hot. She's wearing a kind of cowboy Western outfit that is a skirt and boots.
Yeah, like Texas frill status almost.
Very cute. And everybody says, did you just blow up her friend in that ship? And she doesn't really say yes or no. It kind of leaves it mysterious, and that's the whole bit here, is that they're so mysterious. She doesn't give them really any information, but she does give them a compass, and the compass is a log pose,
an eternal pose,
an eternal log pose that goes all the way to Alabasta. And so she says, you guys can use this to get where you're going. And they all ask her, obviously you're Mr. Zero's partner, you must be here to kill us. And she says, I'm not actually on an official mission and I'm not here to kill you. I actually don't want to fight, but if you want to use this compass, it will help you get where you're going. And Luffy crushes it immediately and says, you're not going to tell us which way we go. We don't know you. We don't trust you. We don't like you. We're pretty sure you just killed her friend. Get out of here. And right away, when they first see her, Sanji and Usopp are pointing weapons at her, trying to they basically think they have her surrounded. And out of nowhere, she knocks them both over the railing. And you don't know how she did it, but everyone starts saying, she must have a gum fruit. How did she even do that? Or she must have a devil fruit. How does she have the powers to knock them over when we didn't even see, like, she didn't even lay hands on them? How did it happen? happen. So she's very clearly more powerful than the rest of them. They don't trust her. She's fooling around with them, kind of teasing them. And then she hops onto a giant tortoise and sails away into the distance.
Robin's so cool in this. I mean, the tortoise never really comes back, but it's such a cool thing.
And we don't know her name yet. This is going to be a main character in the story. So this character sneaks away. Clearly, we're going to see her again in the future. And clearly, we're going to see the guy that they call Crocodile, which, having watched the anime, I'm so excited to see Crocodile and meet him in the manga because he's fucking badass. And then we have our crew deciding to set off and figure out which direction they're supposed to go in. And once they get going, Princess Vivi, who has just kind of lost everybody who she trusted and doesn't know how to get back to her kingdom, is stressed out. She's sad. And Nami hugs her and says, "You're a strong girl and don't worry. Everyone's going to take care of you."
Yeah, they start to kind of like, that friendship bond going, which is nice.
And I, since watching the anime, have always shipped Vivi and Nami. And this first moment where Vivi, like, is so sad, she bites her lip and it starts bleeding, and Nami hugs her to her. Like, Nami's just a girl's girl through and through. But I think there definitely could be a little bit something else going on here. And then when they start sailing, Sanji makes everybody drinks. Vivi's a little bit worried that everyone's going to start, getting drunk and being sloppy. And Nami says, just relax. Take the edge off. Enjoy yourself for a second. And then Vivi starts to bond with the rest of the crew. Actually have a good time. They see some dolphins jumping, and then they realize the dolphin is 20 times bigger than the ship.
Yeah, I like that panel a lot.
Me too, because it leads us right into this next island that we're getting to where everything is massive. And this island is called the Little Garden.
Yep.
When they show up there, they keep wondering, why is it called the Little Garden when everything is so huge? And then they park the ship, and Luffy and Sanji and Zoro all want to go adventure. Vivi goes with Luffy. She and Zoro make a bet against each other to see who can get the most meat. And
this is your favorite romance in the anime.
This is where I start shipping them.
Yeah, Courtney, every single time we watch the anime, Courtney always comments on this whole thing, their little competition. She's like, this is like the ship of like a lifetime.
It's rivals to lovers. It's one of the most classic BL tropes. And there is this thing where every time Sanji flirts with Nami, Zoro is kind of acting irritated. And Zoro keeps telling Nami, you can't boss me around like him. I don't like being used like he likes being used. So Zoro very clearly doesn't want anything romantic to do with Nami, and it kind of seems like he's overcorrecting and doing the opposite of what Sanji does. And I think he is into Sanji, and he is annoyed that Sanji pays all of his attention to Nami. So when he gets Sanji's attention and they can like be rivals and start competing with each other, I think he really holds on to that. So they make this bet who can get the biggest animal to bring home for food so that Sanji can prep it all and take it on the ocean with them. So they've got this like heated tension going between them, and they're not really realizing that all of these huge animals around them are dinosaurs. Meanwhile, Nami and Usopp are staying back on the boat, and they start to realize what's going on around them. And Nami says, I think I read about this in a book. Let me go find it. Digs up a book and sees that this is the Little Garden because all of the animals there are giant. This is a prehistoric island because it's on the Grand Line and there's certain conditions environmentally. It's stuck in the past.
And its residents are giants.
Yep. And there's two specific giants that we are just about to meet. One of them pops up on Usopp and Nami, and that is Broggy. And then Luffy and Vivi meet the other one named Dory.
Yes, correct.
And those two are enemies, but they're really nice to the humans and start feeding them. But the humans start to realize that there's other humans their size. There's like skeletons all around. So they kind of think that the giants might be eating people. But then the giants tell them, no, it takes a year at least to reset your log pose so that it can navigate to the next island. And most humans by that point are either eaten by dinosaurs or
just die.
Succumb succumb to the nature.
Yeah, it's a hard island to survive.
They say die of heat exhaustion, so it must be really hot. It looks prehistoric. I don't know how you'd survive there. So they offer them dinosaur meat and ask for some beer in return, and are making buddies immediately with the Straw Hats. The Straw Hats love these giants. Mm-hmm. They're hitting it off right away.
Usopp is like looking up to them, asking him like, "How are you so brave? Tell me more about your people."
Yes.
And they're from Elbath, and so he's like, "Hey, tell me more about this," because he wants to be just like them.
He wants to be a brave warrior. And then
he's looking at them like role models.
They see this volcano explode in the distance, and they say, oh, it's time to go fight each other again. We've had 793,449 draws. Every single time we fight, it's a draw, and every time that volcano goes off, it's time for us to fight again. Yep. So they go to fight each other. Everybody is watching. Luffy kind of passes out, and he goes, they're too big. So everyone is kind of just amazed by these two giants, and they're asking them, why are you still fighting? What was the fight even started over? And they say it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Doesn't matter. We're just fighting for honor at this point, and one of us will win. The gods will decide which one of us was right. Doesn't matter what about, but whoever's right will win one day, and we've been fighting for 100 years.
It's how they do things in Elbath.
And so these giants go at it, and it ends in another draw, and they both want to have some beer, and then they go their separate ways.
That's the thing, though, is like they fight. They've been fighting for 100 years straight, but every single time they draw, they just like laugh, and then they say, "Good job, friend."
Yeah, they're definitely friends. They keep calling each other friend, even in the midst of battle. They say friend.
So it's a friendly competition.
That's going to end in one of them dying. So they're doing it in a very honorable way. They only ever strike one strike at a time, and they go for each other's vitals. There's no trickery, which is why it keeps ending in a draw. So then one of them asks the other for some beer, and Broggy had gotten beer from Nami and Usopp. So he gives it to Dory, and Dory goes back with Luffy and Vivi, and he drinks the beer, and after he drinks the whole keg, it explodes in his stomach. And then he says, oh, it's a trick. This is not honorable. One of you guys, I know that Broggy wouldn't have done this to me because we've been fighting for 100 years.
Yeah, why would he do that?
He would never fight without honor. He's very honorable. All of us giants in Elbath are. And so immediately they suspect Luffy, and that's basically where this volume ends.
Pretty much.
Is trying to figure out who poisoned the beer and why. And I have a feeling it was none of the Straw Hats, and it was neither of the giants. It was some outside source, because the ship was sitting by all the bounty hunters for a long time. So one of them could have poisoned it before they even left for this island.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the fun part about rereading some of this stuff, especially like the earlier stuff, is that like you don't remember every little detail. And like I don't remember everything, and so I'm enjoying just going back and like, you know, just seeing everything in panel form too. It's
fun because it's a little bit like getting to see it for the first time if you already forgot after 1,000 chapters what happened.
Yeah, and we watch this stuff so much, so it's just like whatever.
So that is where this volume ends. Volume 13 was very fun because we got to finish off Whiskey Peach. We got to go to the little garden, meet the giants, and see Princess Vivi, as well as a different main character who's going to crop back up. And we got minimally introduced to Crocodile. So I feel like we're really starting to get into the meat of One Piece and all of the main cast of characters and villains. Super fun volume. Did you like this one?
It's okay. It's not my favorite because a lot of this one is
transitioning.
Yeah, transitioning, but also it's kind of a filler set of stories versus the main part, which the main part of the arc, which you'll get to, which is the actual land of Alabasta. But yeah, it's okay.
I like this one.
8 times during this one.
8 times he lulled, guys. I really liked when Luffy's belly is all fat and Zoro like jumps on his belly like a trampoline.
Yeah, he uses him, yeah.
And then there's another point where Luffy is like fighting and his belly goes down really fast and he says, my metabolism works really well when I start moving, or something like that. He also like runs and says nature calls, like he has to go to the bathroom because he ate all this food, and it's just so goofy. Everything about Luffy is so goofy in this one. So who is your delusional boyfriend from this volume?
You know, it's funny, but my delusional boyfriend from this volume is Sanji. Because Sanji, as soon as Vivi gets on the boat, Sanji's like, he's like, Princess Vivi, I can get you your lunch. Of course, I'll make you anything you want. So he steps up and he becomes like he's a very nice guy. Like being like the new kid in the class is never fun. And so, like, he makes Vivi feel welcome, and even if it's in a weird way, which is, like, flirting.
Flirts with her, and then he goes, Nami, are you jealous? And Nami's like,
No.
I don't give a fuck. So I don't know if he's just trying to make Nami jealous, but he definitely just loves all women.
Also, he's not playing favorites, which is kind of, take it as a good thing or a bad thing. Like Sanji in this volume, he's just kind of hanging out, cooking, doing a lot of things, making people drinks. I enjoy kind of the quieter aspects of One Piece, too, where they're just kind of hanging out with, like, the off time, and they're just, like, enjoying themselves in the sun, making drinks, eating food. I think that's really a nice like slice of life.
Yeah, cute. Do you want to guess who my delusional boyfriend was?
Is it Vivi? Mine was going to be Vivi.
I think that Vivi might be mine in the future, so I was going to hold hers off for later.
Definitely.
My delusional boyfriend was Mr. Nine, Vivi's partner, who in the last one was a total nerd. He's wearing a crown.
Yeah.
He's super stupid. I did not like him in the last one, but in this one, he sacrifices himself for Vivi and says, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you've been lying to me, and I don't care. You're my partner, and I will stave off all of the danger so that you can get away. And it was really brave, and I think he knew that he was going to die if he did this and stood up for her, but he didn't care. And his last words to her are, so long, baby. And that was very smooth. And I thought that was very cute. So that sold it to me. I was there for it. I would totally fuck him in that moment. He was my boyfriend.
Enjoyed his moment there, too.
And then who is the character who sacrificed herself? Miss Monday?
Miss Monday, like I said, yeah.
She's a delusional boyfriend, too.
Mm-hmm.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Mm-hmm. And also Vivi's bodyguard, Mr. 8. Another one that was a total contender for me because all of those people sacrifice themselves for Vivi. And for me, a delusional boyfriend, somebody who will lay themselves in front of a bullet from you, lay themselves in front of a moving train for you. And
Sacrifice
that's what they do.
All.
Yeah. They would rather have death than see you die before them. So I loved all of those characters, but I do think that I don't think we're ever going to see Mr. 9 again. And I wanted to give him his day in the sunlight as my delusional boyfriend.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We have so much fun doing this every Tuesday. Make sure that you tune in next week for volume 14. Rate, review, and subscribe if you can. If you're listening on one of the podcast apps, make sure that you turn on auto downloads and write us a little review. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it really helps. And until next time, remember, sometimes the delusion
is the solution.
Bye.
See you guys.